Shalom, and welcome to another edition of The Truth Shall Make You Free. I'm your host, Brother Nathaniel, and we have a guest speaker tonight, guest reader, Brother
Yawasop.
All right, this is Deacon Yawasop of Israel United in Christ. He's sitting in today, and today we're going to go, as we always do, to John 8, verse 32 to open up with.
It's the book of St. John, the 8th chapter, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
So the truth, brothers and sisters, is that you, black men and black women, Latin men and Latin women, those of you whose fathers are of Negro and Indian descent, you make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You're going to believe this Bible. This is your history book. This is your records. Okay? Now, today's topic, we're going to go over, I'm going to take a little turn here, because I know everyone probably thinks, oh, he's going to talk about the white man. No. Today, we're going to talk about hatred. Hatred. We're going to talk about hate in the house, because that's what's killing our people. Hatred is what's preventing us from coming together united in Christ. Let's open up with 1 Maccabees in the Apocrypha. Now remember, we went over this many times. The book of the Apocrypha was removed from the original King James Bible, 1611, in the early 1700s. The book of the Maccabees, this book is outlawed in the Caribbean, mainly Jamaica, okay? Because there's a lot of history in here that bridges the Old Testament to the New Testament. So, let's open up with, let's continue with 1 Maccabees 11, verse 21.
Right. This is the first book of Maccabees, the 11th chapter, verse 21. Then certain ungodly persons who hated their own people went unto the king and told him that Jonathan besieged the tower. Whereof, when he heard, he was angry.
So now, I want to highlight that first part. Read it again.
Then certain ungodly persons.
This is talking about the Israelites, certain ungodly Israelites.
Who hated their own people.
Who hated their own people. See, black man, black woman, what you're going to realize, you Latin men and Latin women, there's some of us who are ungodly and hate our own people. Some of you listening right now, you may fall in that category. From there, let's go to the book of Matthew. Let's go to Matthew 24, because Christ, our King, our Lord, spoke about this subject. Matthew 24, all I want is two verses. Verse 11 and 12, and that's it.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 11 and 12. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
Many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Who is that talking about primarily? Yeah, you guessed it. The so-called white man. They're the false prophets that rose and taught our people lie after lie. How do you know that? Because in slavery, what were we forbidden to do? Read. So if we couldn't read, we couldn't write, who taught us how we learned the Bible then? How did our people, all your ministers, learn the Bible? From their slave master.
Many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
Has our people been deceived? We were deceived in slavery. We were deceived with the false image of white man Jesus. We were deceived with the false teaching of Christianity. And it's going to say that. Go ahead.
And because iniquity shall abound.
And what does iniquity mean? The word iniquity means sin. That's what it means. Hold that. Let's go to 1 John 3 and 4. Because another word for iniquity is sin. A lot of you might not understand what the word sin means, but the Bible breaks it down for you. 1 John, we're going to chapter 3, I believe it is, and verse 4. 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Okay.
1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
You see what sin is? Sin is the transgression of the law. Let's go back to Matthew. So another word for sin is iniquity. What is sin and iniquity? It means transgressing, breaking God's laws. Now, back to Matthew 24, verse 11 again. Because 11 and 12 go together. Watch this.
And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound,
And because sin shall abound, mean rise and rise,
the love of many shall wax cold.
the love of many shall wax cold. The love of many shall wax cold. Hold on. Let's find out what love means according to the Bible. Let's go to 1 John, back to 1 chapter 5 and verse 3. Because a lot of you don't know what love is. A lot of you think love is talking about sex, hugs, and kisses. When the Bible talks about love, brothers and sisters, 1 John 5 and 3 is going to break it down for you.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
So what is love?
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Okay, let's go back to Matthew now. Now we're getting some understanding here. Back to Matthew 24, 11 and 12 again.
And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
False preachers, false teachers,
And because iniquity shall abound,
meaning they shall teach sin. Go ahead.
the love of many shall wax cold.
Meaning we as a people will no longer keep the commandments. That's why in your churches, what do they teach you? The laws of God are done away with. That's what your ministers and your priests and your popes and your teachers teach you. That's why I said, because sin shall rise, the love of many shall wax cold. That's why there's no love at home. That's why there's no love in the ghetto. That's why there's no love in our communities, amongst our people. From there, let's go to Ezekiel 22. Okay? I'm going to show you right now, because you right now say, wait a minute. How did you put those two verses together? Because of the false preachers, the deceiving by false preachers and prophets, it says the love of many. Iniquity shall rise, shall abound, and the love of many shall wax cold. Ezekiel breaks it down more for you. In Ezekiel 22, we want just two verses, 26 and 27. Because you might ask yourself, how do you know a false prophet when you hear one? Ezekiel makes it crystal clear.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law.
So the first thing with a false prophet, it says the priest would violate God's laws. Come on.
And have profaned mine holy things.
They would profane, a false priest, false prophet would profane God's holy things.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
They would put no difference between what is holy according to God's word and what is unholy. Come on.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean.
Like, for example, do your preachers put a difference between what is clean and unclean? Like in Leviticus 11 and 7. It says pig, swine is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh. Does your preacher put a difference and teach you that that's unclean? Or does he say it's all good in Jesus? He tells you it's all good in Jesus. So what is your preacher? A false prophet? Okay, that's what he is. Read it again.
Her priests have violated my law, and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbath.
And have what?
And have hid their eyes from my Sabbath.
So let's name some of God's Sabbath. You got the 7th day Sabbath, okay? That comes every 7th day. You got Passover. You got Feast of Unleavened Bread. You got Memorial Blowing of Trumpets. You have the Day of Atonement. You have Feast of Tabernacles. You have the New Moon. Those are Sabbaths. Does your preacher teach you those Sabbaths? Or does he teach you Christmas? Does he teach you Kwanzaa? Does he teach you Halloween? Does he teach you Mother's Day? Does he teach you Father's Day? Huh? Does he teach you Thanksgiving? Does he teach you Valentine's Day? Does he teach you Women's Day? Read that last precept again.
And have hid their eyes from my Sabbath.
So your preachers have hid their eyes from God's Sabbath. So what are they? False prophets. Read on.
And I am profaned among them. Her princes In the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey, to shed blood,
To shed blood.
and to destroy souls,
They destroy souls in your churches.
to get dishonest gain.
And they get dishonest gain. We're going to pass the pot around. Second time, pass the pot around. Choir, sing! And pass the pot around again and again and again. From there, let's go to Titus chapter 3. Okay? What am I showing you? I'm showing you that because of these lies, these Christian lies that are pushed, we hate ourselves, we hate our people. That's what Christ was saying. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You say, but what does God's laws got to do with anything? What does this Bible have to do with anything? What did Christ say at John 8:32? Hold that. Christ said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You want to be free from that self-hate you got within you? You got to come out of those churches. If your minister, if your priest, if your preacher, your reverend cannot repent and change to the truth of what this Bible is saying, come out of those churches. Come out and let this be your church right here. Okay? Because now you got a group of you that says, it doesn't matter. Like we read about the image of Christ. Okay? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that. Revelation chapter 1. Read verse 14 and 15 for us real quick. I ain't even going to stop you. Just read right through it because we've gone over it several times.
This is the book of Revelation, the chapter 1, verse 14 and 15. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So Christ is described as a black man, having white woolly hair and his skin looked like it was burned in a furnace. Now you may say, you in church, you in Christianity say, it doesn't matter what he looks like. It does matter. The truth always matters, okay? Because if you don't teach the truth, which you have not done, it teaches us to hate one another, okay? For example, you got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months out of a year, 365 days of a year. You got Christian doctrines like Trinity Broadcast Network, the 700 Club. What do they push? The white image of Jesus. The white image of Jesus. The white image of Jesus. And that bombards us. That bombards our minds. It's a form of witchcraft. Then you simple black men and black women says, you read about the color of Christ and go, it don't matter. I'm going to show you why it matters. I'm going to show you a clip of what it means to our children of why color matters according to the Bible.
Which doll is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because she's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
Which doll looks most like you?
Like me.
Yeah, which one looks like you?
And that one.
Okay.
That doll.
I hope you understood what you've just seen and observed. When you don't teach your children the truth in the Bible, you leave it up to the TV. I'm going to show you how the system corrupts us. When we're born, what happens? You indoctrinate your children with TV, number one. Your own personal lives, your mothers and fathers. Then what do? You send them to church, okay? In church, they teach you color don't matter. It don't matter. Then they show white images of Jesus Christ. Then as they grow older, where do you send them? School. What did they learn in school? Abraham Lincoln was a great man. Who discovered America? Christopher Columbus. You learn about all the great white inventors. Then we look at each other and go, you ain't shit. That's how our people are. So it does matter. Titus 3:3, please.
Right. The book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish.
So we ourselves, Paul says, and this goes for us. We ourselves were also sometimes foolish.
Disobedient.
We were disobedient to God's laws.
Deceived.
We were deceived at one time. Yes, even ourselves, we believed that one time in our life that Jesus was white. God was white. We thought that foolishness. Go ahead.
Serving diverse lusts.
We also served divers lusts in the clubs, celebrating Christmas, Kwanzaa, Thanksgiving.
And pleasures.
And we gave into pleasures, committing adultery. All these things, come on.
Living in malice.
And we lived in malice. We hated each other.
And envy.
And we were jealous of one another, our people.
Hateful.
Our people as a whole, we are hateful.
And hating one another.
And what?
And hating one another.
You see the problem with the black and Latino community? We hate one another. That's why there's such a thing called black on black crime. You never hear about Chinese on Chinese crime. You don't hear about white man on white man crime. But there is such a thing as black on black crime because it has surpassed all types of criminal, what's the word? I'll use the word sin. Okay? It has reached a zenith where we hate one another and we kill one another. Okay, from there, let's go to Leviticus 19, verse 17 and 18. Okay? So Paul told you, Christ told you, because iniquity would abound, your teaching, your false teachings, the love of many would wax cold. You would become disobedient. You would become hateful and hating one another. So Leviticus 19, verse 17 and 18.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Are you learning that in your churches? No, you're not. Because I realized growing up, a lot of the young men that I grew up with that was in the midst, that some of them, many of them got locked up and put in jail, a lot of them came out of the Christian church. We all was in that church together, that foolishness. Okay, talking about the laws are done away with. Come on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Meaning we're to correct one another according to God's laws. Come on.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Because by correcting one another from a youth, according to God's laws, you would not suffer sin upon one another. Come on.
18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against who?
Against the children of thy people.
Come on.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You know what I want you to look at in that verse? It's explaining who your neighbor is in that verse. Because a lot of you growing up in church, when I ask, who is my neighbor? They say anybody. Anybody's your neighbor. But read verse 18 again.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
The children of thy people. The children of thy people.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
So the children of your people is your neighbor. I'm going to say it again. The children of your people is your neighbor. That's what God says. That's what the Bible says. But you've not learned the Bible yet. But before this destruction comes to this land, all you're going to learn is Bible. You're going to learn it or you're going to die in your sins. Okay, from there, let's go to Matthew 22. Okay, Matthew 22, verse 36 to 40. Because you know what a lot of you do at home? Oh, all we got to do is the 2 greatest commandments, brother. You don't know the Bible. You don't even understand what the 2 greatest commandments means. I'm going to show you real quick. Matthew 22, verse 36 to 40.
Right, okay. This is the book of St. Matthew,
chapter 22,
22
verse 36.
Verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
Right.
Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
What does that mean? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. What does that mean? It means that all the commandments that pertain to God, you must obey. For example, there's a commandment that says, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. That was the first one. The second one is, Thou shalt not have any graven image. Okay, the third one, don't take the name of the Lord in vain. The fourth one is, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. out of the 10 commandments, those top 4 pertain to God. If you say you love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, you got to obey those laws. Those are laws, statutes, and commandments. Laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And the second is like unto
The
it.
second is just as great as the first.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now, is that in the 10 commandments? Love thy neighbor as thyself. No, it's not in the 10 commandments. That's proving that what I'm teaching you is proper and correct. Because a lot of you say, oh, just the 10 commandments. No, because love your neighbor as yourself is not written in the 10 commandments. It's written where we just read. Leviticus 19, verse 17 and 18. That's where it's written. So you must do all the commandments that pertain to your neighbor. Read it again.
And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now, from there, let's go to 1 John chapter 3. Was that it?
On these.
Right, on verse 40. Right, I'm sorry.
Verse 40. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
So all the laws are based upon those 2. Some of you are so unlearned, you go, oh, all I gotta do is love God and love my neighbor. Number 1, you don't know who the true God is. Number 2, you don't even know who your neighbor is. You so busy trying to please the white man, your own brother next to you. You walk right by him laying in the street. You don't even know who your neighbor is. Okay? It says on those 2 laws hang all the commandments. Mean everything is what? Summed up in those 2. Okay, that's all Christ is saying. Some of you say, oh, that means you ain't got to do nothing. You don't know the Bible. Again. From there, let's go to 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Okay? 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Okay? Come on.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Whoso hateth his brother is a murderer. Whoso hateth his brother is a murderer. Who is your brother? Who is your neighbor? The children of your people. Whoso hateth his brother is a murderer. There's much hatred in the black and Latino community. You so-called black men, like I said, there's something called black on black crime, because you hate one another. Where did it come from? Where did it stem from? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to just break it down to you briefly and quickly. Okay, now, this was before slavery, all right? We were learning these laws, but we had to go into slavery. In slavery, we learned many Christian lies. After we were, quote-unquote, emancipated, the hard yokes came off our necks, they let us free, fully understanding that we were destroyed mentally and spiritually as a people. What happened? That hatred that was already bred in us, it was nurtured through your lying preachers, the educational system. Okay, then what? They set up housing complexes called projects. They did an experiment and they put a whole bunch of rats together. What happened when you put a whole bunch of rats or animals together? They start to tear and devour one another. So what? What did America do? They said, let's set up housing complex and let's put blacks and Latinos all bunched up together. Let's see how they deal with each other. We start to tear and devour one another. In North Carolina, South Carolina, New Orleans, New York City, Chicago, wherever we are, it happens. So now, from there, let's go to Isaiah chapter 3. So that's how it all started, but it must come to an end. All this hatred amongst us must come to an end. Isaiah chapter 3, all we want is verse 12.
The book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12.
I'm going to show you something, black man, Latin man.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
As for my, read it again.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are your oppressors. That's talking about your gangs. Your young people are in all these gangs out here. Go ahead.
And women rule over them.
And your women, black man, rule over you. Was that it?
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
They which lead thee cause thee to error.
And destroy the way of thy paths.
So now, it says, children are our oppressors, and women rule over us. Why did this happen? Because, black man, you have refused to take your rightful position. But now, in us repenting of our sins, we are commanded by the Most High and His Son Christ to take our rightful position as head of the house, head of the family, head of the nation. That's what we're commanded to do. From there, watch this. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. I'm going to show you that that statement that I just made is recorded in the Holy Bible. 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3.
The book of Corinthians, the first book of Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man.
Read that again.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Black man, Latin man, Christ is your Lord. Christ is our master. Right?
And the head of the woman,
listen, black woman, Latin woman,
is the man.
You heard that, brothers? You are the head, meaning the Lord of the woman. Sisters, did you hear that? You black and Latin women that say you repented, did you hear that? Because that's where the problem comes right there. Black men, you have been afraid to take your rightful position because your woman might have a big mouth. So you're afraid of her and you leave home. Read it again.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man.
The head of the woman is the man. Brother, you say you've repented of your sins? You better take your rightful position as head of the house, head of the nation. Sister, you say you've repented? You better accept that man as your head. Yes, that black man, that Latin man as your head, as your Lord, okay? From there, let's go to Tobit chapter 4 in the Apocrypha. I'm going to show you something. Because a lot of you black men, I'm going to show you what some... Because you are so afraid to deal with your black woman, a lot of you like to run from her. You like to run from your problem. You don't like to put your foot down and put the woman in her place. So what do? You go get you a woman from another nation. That's what a lot of you brothers do. So we're going to show you what that is. Tobit chapter 4. All I want is 2 verses. All I want is verse 12 and verse 13. Tobit chapter 4, verse 12 and 13.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Beware of all whoredom.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. Take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. Come on.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
Don't take a woman of another nation. Don't take the white woman to marry. Don't take the Chinese woman. Don't take the African woman.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is what?
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
You got 12 tribes. Come on.
For we are the children of the prophets.
For we, brothers and sisters, are the children of the prophets. Come on.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
They all married wives of their own kindred, meaning their own people.
And were blessed in their children.
And were blessed in their children.
And their seed shall inherit the land.
And their seed shall inherit the land. Was that it?
Okay.
Right?
Now therefore, my son,
listen good.
Love thy brethren.
What?
Love thy brethren.
You see what it says? If you don't marry a woman of your own people, a spouse of your own people, Tobit reminds you, he said, therefore, brethren, what?
Love thy brethren.
Come on.
And despise not in thy heart thy brethren.
And despise not in your heart your brethren.
The sons and daughters.
The sons and daughters.
Of thy people.
Of thy people. Of thy people. Was that it?
Nope.
Go ahead.
In not taking a wife of them.
Wait, I need you to read that whole thing. I ain't even going to interrupt you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and daughters of thy people, in not taking a wife of them. For in pride is destruction and much trouble, and in lewdness is decay and great want, for lewdness is the mother of famine.
So the Bible says, if you don't marry of your own people, it's because you despise your people. What does the word despise mean? Hate your people. Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
So you can't say, oh, I married outside my race because he or she said the right things and I just fell in love. God says that's hatred. God says you did that because you despise your people. That's what the Bible says. Your preacher teach you that? Your preachers ain't teaching you nothing according to the Bible. Now, from there, let's go to Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 12. Because here's what comes next. You get a black man He puts up with his big mouth black woman. Both of them fighting day in and day out, and this is what happens. Because when you got a brother with an anger problem, coupled with a big mouth black woman, terrible combination. Terrible combination. Proverbs 6 and 12 and 13. That's what happens.
A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth.
A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth, meaning what? He likes to insult and he calls names. He's verbally abusive. Come on.
He winketh with his eyes.
He winks with his eyes. That's how he got you, sister, with that wink. Come on.
He speaketh with his feet.
What does it mean he speaks with his feet? He puts his foot up your rear end. That's what it means. He stomps you. Go ahead.
He teacheth with his fingers.
What does it mean he teaches with his fingers? Okay, he balls that fist in, pow, right in the kisser. Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
That's what happens when you couple a brother with an anger spirit on him, anger demon, with a big mouth woman. Violence. Violence. And a lot of brothers in jail who suffered from that, they had a big mouth woman, and that's a horrible combination. From there, let's go to Proverbs 11, verse 29. Okay, here's the next thing. The woman, because she will not submit herself, okay, what does she do? Okay, she's always giving a man grief. Or the man, it might even not even be the woman's fault. Let me stop blaming the woman for a second, just for a second. Because some of you brothers, you got problems taking initiative. You got problems taking leadership in your household. So you find every excuse under the sun to cause an argument. Proverbs 11, verse 29, this is the result.
He that troubleth his own house.
He that troubleth his own house.
Shall inherit the wind.
Meaning what? You shall inherit the wind. What does that mean? Meaning she gonna leave. Your kid's gonna leave, the dog gonna leave, she gonna take the house, she gonna take the car, leave you with zero. Read it again.
He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind.
That's what God says to you brothers. With that anger demon, you just like to fight and scream and hit when you walk home. Why? And a lot of it's because what? You don't love yourself. That's where it comes. How? The Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself. How I'm gonna love you and I can't stand me? Huh? It don't work like that. Okay, from there, watch this. Let's go to, now we talked about the man. I'm gonna show you something about what God says about the woman. Give me Ezekiel 16. Ezekiel 16. I'm gonna try and slow it down. I know I've been rushing because we gotta try and cram. We got just we got a limited contract. Okay, I gotta try to cram everything in a short amount of time. Ezekiel 16. All I want is 2 verses. I want verse 44 and verse 45. Okay.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 44.
Listen, good black woman. This is a message to you.
Behold, everyone that uses proverbs shall use this proverb
Listen
against
to this
thee,
proverb. Come on.
saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter.
As is the mother, so is her daughter. Like, you know the expression like father, like son? Mm-hmm. Like mother, like daughter. That's the proverb. Watch this.
Thou art thy mother's daughter.
You are your mother's daughter. So it's a rotating cycle, God is letting Ezekiel know. This cycle of hatred, immaturity, is carried from mother to daughter.
Thou art thy mother's daughter that loatheth her husband.
What does it mean, loatheth her husband? The word loathe, L-O-A-T-H, loathe, means hate. Means hate. Read it again so they know I ain't putting the words in the mouth.
Thou art thy mother's daughter that loatheth her husband.
That hates her husband.
And her children.
Ooh, and she hates her children. Black woman, you've never learned this Bible. You were never taught this, Latin woman. Come on.
And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loatheth their husbands and their children. Your mother was a Hittite, and your father an Amorite.
So God is insulting the Israelites. He said, you just like those Africans, the Hittites and the Amorites. Y'all just like them, you Israelites. Okay? That's what he's insulting us, calling the Israelites Africans. Because we went into the land, God commanded us, do not learn the customs nor the ways of the Hittites or the Amorites. But guess what happened? We started to take on many African customs, and God got angry with us. So here we are in America, made slaves here. And a lot of you black women, you carried the same evil hatred towards your husband and your children, okay? From there, we ain't finished with you yet. Leviticus 13, please. So God says, as is the mother, so is the daughter. You are the woman that hates your husband and hates your children. Okay? Because in the home, you black women, do you give your husband the respect due to him? A lot of you know you don't. A lot of you church-going women, especially you. I'm going to let you know something, brothers. I'm going to let you know something. The black and Latin woman, she might be going to bed with you. She might be in a house with you, and you might think that's all that's good. But who does she pray to? Who does she give her soul to? Look on the wall. Some of you might have the wall on the walls, white man Jesus. That's her God. That's her real lover. That's who she is in love with. Not you. You just somebody to abide time with. I know it might be sounding kind of rough to you. Okay? Because who she prays to, that image she prays to is where her heart, her soul resides. Leviticus 13. We want verse, what verse did I say? 29 and 30.
Okay.
Listen good.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 13 verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard.
If a man or a woman have a plague upon the head, and for men upon the beard, listen good.
Then the priest shall see the plague.
Then the priest shall see the plague.
And behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
What color hair?
Yellow thin hair. Yellow thin hair. Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard.
So yellow hair, brothers and sisters, according to the Bible, is leprosy. I'm going to say it again. Yellow hair, according to the Bible, is leprosy. Did they understand that? Yellow hair, according to God, is leprosy. But wait a minute. America taught you that blondes have more fun. So what does the black and Latin woman do? She goes and dyes her hair. I need the yellow hair because America said blondes have more fun. And you get simple black women that dye. Look at your mother, your sister, your daughter. You might be at work right now. Look. Who in the office, who at home has yellow hair? Who got the yellow streaks in their hair? Just look. God says that's leprosy, okay? But you have let America deceive you to thinking that that's natural, that's blondes have more fun. Marilyn Monroe. Many of your rap artists, the women, what? They dye their hair, okay? Why? And what color? Yellow. Many of your greatest R&B singers dye their hair. Now, you got to ask yourself, if, like I said, brothers, she might be at home with you. She might be in your bed. She might give birth to your children. But look good at your black and Latino woman. Does she put in blue contacts? Does she put in green contacts? Does she dye her hair yellow? All that is, I hate myself. I love the image of the white man. Like I said, but she might be laying down with you, but she gives her soul to the slave master. Okay? And that what we just read is evident right there. From there, let's go to deal with the kids now. Proverbs 28 and verse 24. So we went from the man, we went to the woman. We do it in the order like that, okay? Because black man is always going to come back to you. Why is your wife filled with hatred and out of order? Because you are filled with hatred and out of order. Why is our children filled with hate and out of order? Because the man is filled with hate and out of order. It's always going to go back to the man. Why? Because man, you are the head of the house. Man, you are the leader of the nation, and you have not taken your rightful position. Proverbs 28, and we want verse, what I say, 24?
24.
Come on.
Whoso robbeth his father or his mother, and saith, it is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer.
Read it again. This is for our children. Some of your kids at home, some of your kids in jail. Go ahead. This is how they started.
Whoso robbeth his father or his mother.
He's going into mama's purse, taking money out. He's going into the daddy's wallet, taking monies out.
And saith, it is no transgression.
It's no sin if I steal from my parents. They was going to give it to me anyway.
The same is the companion of a destroyer.
His friends are destroyers. His friends are evil, wicked kids. From there, let's go to the Apocrypha, because I forgot something. Okay, I should have bridged that verse with this verse. But it's okay. Go to 2nd Esdras. I think it's chapter 5 and verse 69, I think it is. Okay, 2nd Esdras 5. 2nd Esdras 5, verse 8. 2nd Esdras 5, verse 8. That's what I want. Listen good.
There shall be a confusion also in many places,
There shall be a confusion in many places. Come on.
and the fire shall be often sent out again,
Meaning judgment. Come on.
and the wild beasts shall change their places,
Wild beasts in the earth shall change their places, moving to different habitations. Watch this.
and menstruous women,
Meaning unclean women, meaning hateful women. Read that part again, menstruous.
and menstruous
Let me
women,
let's pause there. Menstruous women meaning unclean women, meaning women filled with the devil, women filled with hate, women who hate themselves and hate their people. Read it again.
and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
What kind of kids would they have?
Bring forth monsters.
Their children are monsters. So brothers, I'm going back to you. The Bible's talking about unclean women, okay? Okay? Real quick, for more information, because I might forget. For more information, I need you to visit our website at www.israelunite.org, or you can learn more on our videos at www.youtube.com/Nathaniel7. Okay? Now, I'm going back to this. So now, that's a heavy verse right there. Because you brothers, like I said, you might be having sex with this woman. You might think she belongs to you. But I told you, look at her. Look at the way she dresses, the way her hair is, the way her eyes look, the contacts, if she got any. Look at the way she acts.
Listen to her speech.
Listen to her speech. Listen to the things she watch on TV. Watch and see. Because those same hate-filled women that you're having kids with, the Bible says their children are monsters. Why? Because you, man, are out of order, your wife is out of order, and your children are way out of order. Their Bible calls y'all children monsters. That's why in Isaiah 3, it said, children are your oppressors, and women rule over you. Let's read that again, so that we understand where this is going. Let's see this circle here of events. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. Read verse 5 first so you understand. Read Isaiah 3 and 5.
Right. Isaiah 3 and 5. And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another,
That's us, our people.
and every one by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient.
The child shall behave himself proud against the ancient, meaning the older. They don't care about Miss Jenkins with the wig crooked to the side. They'll rob her. They'll punch her in the face. Come on.
And the base against the honorable.
Now verse 12.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Now your children are the ones in the gangs. Your children are the Bloods, the Crips, Latin Kings, Nyeta, all those foolish gangs. Come on.
And women rule over
And the
them.
women are ruling the house. Go ahead.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
Oh, my people, they which lead you, your women and these kids and your false preachers, are causing you to err. Woman, thou art loose. What the hell is this? Loose from what? Huh? From there. Let's go from there. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10. I'm going to show you about these gangs, okay, that your young boys and some of your young girls are getting initiated into, because the Bible speaks about that. Proverbs 1, I want you to read verse 10 through 19. Let's read through it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 10 on down. My son, if sinners entice
So
thee,
it's talking to you young men. If sinners entice thee, wicked men, wicked boys and girls entice thee, watch this.
consent thou not.
Do not, no peer pressure, God says. Exodus 23:2 says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. It says, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. Come on.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood.
Come with us. Let us lay wait for blood. What is this describing? Gangs. Come on.
Let us lurk privately for the innocent.
Let us lurk privily for the innocent, meaning secretly hide for innocent people. Come on.
Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause.
Without cause, meaning they ain't did nothing to you, but you hunting for them. Come on.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave,
Come on.
and whole as those that go down into the pit.
Come on.
We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil.
How will they find precious substance? They're going to rob your substance, brothers and sisters. You ain't worried about the Chinese boy robbing you on the street corner, huh? You ain't worried about the white white boy on the street corner. You worried about your young black and Latino boys robbing you. Come on.
Casting thy lot among us.
Casting your lot with us, young man. That's what these gangs say.
Let us all have one purse.
We all have one purse. Come on.
My son, walk not thou in the way with them.
God says don't walk in the way with them. Is your preachers teaching you that? Are you fathers teaching your boys that? Are you teaching them? Come.
Refrain thy foot from their path.
Refrain thy foot from their path.
So their feet run to, for their feet run to evil.
Because their feet run to evil.
And make haste to shed blood.
And they make haste to shed blood. A lot of our mothers and our fathers are put to death by our children, our sons and our daughters. Read.
Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of the bird.
Come on.
Of any bird. And they lay wait for their own blood. They
lay wait for their own blood, meaning their own people.
They lurk privily for their own lives.
Because they hurt their own people. They hunt and rob their own people. Read.
So are the ways of every one that is greedy of gain.
So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain. Come on.
Which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
And they take away the life of the owners. Whoever owns that car, let's carjack him, yo. Let's take, you see that coat he got? Let's take it, yo. You see he just got paid. Yo, let's take the money. Let's rob him. Let's stop him. Even Miss Jenkins with the crooked wig coming down, humming down the street. Rob her! Knock in the head! Snatch her wig off! That's what our sons do to our own people. That's what happens in the ghetto, in the hood. Now, I'm going to let you know about this terrible combination. Because America, I ain't letting America off the hook. I am not letting them off the hook, the white man. I'm going back to them. Because they got a hand in this. They put us in something called projects. They keep us down at the bottom of society. And you black men and women that got some money, don't stick your nose up at the rest of us, all right? Because this is what happens in the hood, okay? They put us in areas called the projects or tenements, whatever they call it, where the majority of the people, they are poor, okay? Then they might get 2 or 3 of the dumbest, most ignorant people that can rap or hum a few bars, and they said, we're going to pay you $1 million to sing a few bars. I want you to sing some songs about life in the hood, about you got money. You got to make sure you talk about all the money you got. Talk about your fame, your fortune. Sing about, and I'm going to show in the videos, all your good-looking women. Why? Because you got money. And if you don't got money, this is what you're going to do. You're going to rob your brother. You're going to knock your brother upside the head. You're going to take what you want. That's what rap music, hip-hop music does. It's all a calculated plan. I'm going to say it again. This is not by accident. It's a calculated plan, okay, for us to destroy ourselves. You don't got to worry about the Ku Klux Klan because you got to worry about your own black brother. That's right. Your own Latin brother, because he's the one lurking in the shadows to knock you upside your head, to rape your daughters, to rob you. Okay? It's all by design. Okay, from there, let's go to Genesis 9 and 6. I'm going to show you something about murder. Murder in the hood. You got Biggie Smalls, who they praise. Biggie and Tupac, you know. I'm going to show you something in Genesis 9 and 6 about murder. There's a law, a principle that God has established throughout the earth about murder. Okay? Let me know when you got it. Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. Okay? Come on.
Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed.
You hear the law of God? Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be spilled. That's the divine principle in the earth. So your young brothers and sisters and daughters and sons who sell drugs, let me tell you something. They're killing our people. They are a cancer in amongst our people, okay? They're selling death, and then they're going to do on the record, he's going to say, and this is to the people upstairs when I was just trying to feed my family. You know how dumb you sound, Negro? You know how dumb you sound? You're going to kill my sons, my daughters, because you with your drugs, because you want to feed your kids. You going to say it again for you dumb, ignorant, unlearned black boys and black girls who justify selling death, justify selling drugs, saying you're just trying to feed your family. Or you're going to kill ours off to feed yours? You are cancer and got to be done away with if you can't repent. From there, let's go to 2 Kings chapter 2. I'm going to show you something. Because a lot of you black men, the law says If you shed man's blood, by man shall your blood be. That's what happened to Biggie. That's what happened to Tupac. That's what happened to many of your rap artists who want to keep it real. You ain't keeping it real. Simple as hell. 2 Kings chapter 2. I'm going to show you something, black woman in the church, because you ain't absolved from this either. You push white man Jesus on our people. You taught us self-hate. You're the part of the problem. Okay? 2 Kings. I want chapter 2, and I want verse 23 and 24. That's it.
Okay. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 23 and 24. And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city.
Come on.
And mocked him.
They made fun of Elisha.
And said unto him, Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head.
So these little children made fun of the prophet Elisha. They were called, go up out of here, bald man, with your bald head. Get your behind out of here. You ain't got no hair in your head. And what happened?
And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tear 40 and two children of them.
40 and 2 children of them. Killed, slaughtered 42 children. Not Jesus. That ain't in the Bible. See, you got a misunderstanding because of your preacher, because of your slave master. You don't understand. God don't care. If your children are disobedient, if they're disorderly, he will kill them. I'm going to say it again. He will kill them. Matthew 15. In case you say, no, not my Jesus, because we get letters. We get many letters. You mothers, you crying because your sons and daughters have either died, been killed, and I'm going to show you what Christ said, because a lot of you think Christ changed. Matthew 15, I think it's verse 3 and 4. It is. Come on.
St. Matthew chapter 15, verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Why do you transgress the commandments of God because of your traditions? A lot of you brothers and sisters at home, you got dumb, evil traditions. Like white man Jesus is a dumb, evil tradition that you teach. Christmas, another dumb, evil tradition, okay? Don't teach them the Bible till they get 25, another dumb, evil tradition. But what happens because of your dumb, evil traditions?
For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother.
Meaning God commanded his laws. Teach them those laws. Go ahead.
And he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Who said that? Jesus the Christ. He that curses father or mother, let him die the death. So you might think it just means F you, Dad. It means more than that. It means disobeying the scriptures, disobeying your parents according to the laws of God is death. Christ said, let him die the death. Read that part again.
For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die the death.
Did your preacher ever teach you that? Huh? Because if they did, half those young boys that grew up as Christians wouldn't be in jail. Half those young boys that selling drugs that came out of the Christian church would not be dead, 6 feet under, or in jail. It wouldn't have happened. It would have never happened. So now you know where your mistake is. Go back to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 21. Let's read it quick. Time is cutting down now. Deuteronomy 21. I'm going to show you something. Christ said let him die to death. I'm going to show you. Christ said nothing different than the law. Deuteronomy 21, I want verse 18 to 21.
Right. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son,
this is describing a black boy, the young black man and woman, go ahead,
which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother,
disobedient,
and that when he has chastened him, will not hearken unto them.
The parent beat the child still filled with hate, still disobedient, come on.
Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him.
Then shall his father and his mother take hold on him, come on.
And bring him out unto the elders of the city.
Because the elders of the city were you black and Latino men. You were the leaders of Israel. When we had a problem with our kids and the kids were too rebellious, we brought them to the men of the city. Because you were the leaders, you were the lords. But what are you now? Cowards, punks, and effeminate black men. Come on.
Bring him out unto the elders of his city,
What would these men do?
and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the elders of his city, This is our son. This our son is stubborn and rebellious.
He's stubborn and rebellious. He won't work. He what? Come on.
He will not obey our voice.
Mm-hmm.
He is a glutton and a drunkard.
All he does is eat and drink. Go ahead.
And all the men of his city
And all the men of his city,
shall stone him with stones, that he die.
and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. See, brothers, what you fail to realize, we took leadership, and we coming back to that. Oh, I know we can't hurt nobody, we can't do nothing. There's laws set up in this country. If you brothers can't deal with it, the Most High set your enemies up to deal with your sons, and now your daughters. Okay. From there, let's close it out. Let's go to Matthew 18:3. So, brothers, sisters, I'm gonna wrap it up now. I'm just gonna share something with you. Matthew chapter 18. I've gone over the hate amongst our people. We've dealt with the hate from the man's perspective, the woman's perspective, and the child's perspective. Matthew 18:3.
And said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted.
You must be converted to God's laws, brothers and sisters. You must come back as the Israelites into your tribes. Repent and keep these commandments. Come on.
Except ye be converted and become as little children.
Meaning, as a little child, a child will accept whatever his parent says, without ifs, ands, or buts. We got to be that way with the Bible. Whatever the Bible says, whether we like it or not, we must humble down and do what it says.
Except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Except you be converted and become as little children, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven on earth. Psalms 19:7. I need you to read that quick. What converts us? Because as a young man, if I'm in a gang, if I rape women, I steal? You telling me what? What converts me? Psalms 19:7. Quick.
The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
You see what converts you? The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. So, brothers and sisters, our time is up. I pray that you got some understanding out of this episode today. We pray, brothers and sisters, that you help us in keeping this program going. We need your donations. We need your help to keep this truth going. Okay? Again, visit our website, www.israelunite.org or www.youtube.com/Nathaniel7. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.